Welcome to Speedway Harley-Davidson. Today we're going to be taking out this Sportster S and giving you our initial thoughts on how this baby rides. Alright, so this bike has had a few upgrades done to it. We put the white wall tires on here just to add a little bit of style. It's got the Harley-Davidson quick release windscreen on there, and we cleaned up the rear end by adding on a TBR fender eliminator, which looks extremely stylish. Check that out. You got your brake lights as well as your integrated turn signals on there. And now there's no large piece hanging off the back of the wheel. I think it cleaned it up quite a bit. So really quickly, let me throw out a few specs here for you. This bike is putting out 94 foot-pounds of torque, 121 horsepower at a wet weight of 502 pounds. It comes with all the rider aids, as well as a TFT full color display with Bluetooth included on this bike. You get rider modes as well as quite a few other features on this motorcycle, but we'll talk about that while we're out riding. Okay, let's get her cranked up. So real quick, while we're sitting here, we'll go through some of the features here on this screen here. You hit this button right here, it's going to bring up your menu. In your menu, you got the options to use navigation, which goes through Bluetooth. You have to have a Bluetooth device connected to this, and you have to have the Harley-Davidson app, which has the navigation in it. You press it again, and you get the option to control your music. This is for a Bluetooth setting also, which I'm not currently Bluetooth to the bike. You press it again, it's going to bring you into the menu that tells you a little about what's going on with this motorcycle. You get your PSI, you get your engine temperature, you also get a diagnostic option, and you also get how many volts are in the battery. One more press brings you over to your settings, which is going to let you kind of customize your rides, your appearance of this display, the Bluetooth, and you get some general settings in there as well, such as to reset your trip, to adjust the date, your HD app time sync, which it'll sync to the time on your Harley-Davidson app. And then you can adjust the clock manually. You got your clock format, different units. You can change your pin security, and you can change the display language on there. We're going to stick in home screen, of course, because this is where you're going to get the information about your ride while you're riding it, such as your speed and your RPM. You got 3 modes on here. You got rain, you got road, and you got sport. Let's start off in rain. And this bike cranks up a little bit differently than your traditional Harley-Davidson. You got this switch here that you flick down, and you're going to hit this button in the center to crank her up. And as you can see, we're currently on. And if you pull in your clutch, you'll see it'll idle down. It gets you ready for your ride. Looks like this bike actually has the heated grips on it too. We're not going to use that. I don't want my hands burning up. You also got cruise control on here. So this bike pretty much has every feature you could possibly want in a very sporty style. Alright, so let's go for a ride, shall we? This is a little bit different than your typical Harleys. Your blinkers are more metric styled, where you got them both on the left side and you just press them over. As you can see, the blinkers right there, you go left if you're going left, you press right if you're going right. It's not like your traditional Sportster where you got a signal on each hand. I don't know how I feel about that. I've kind of gotten used to them being on both sides, but you know, both work out perfect. Let's go ahead and adjust these bar end mirrors. I did not do that before pulling off. I do like bar end mirrors. You can see quite a bit behind you. Your body's not going to be in the way of blocking anything that you're trying to look at. Let's go, rain mode, baby. So, from what I can tell right now, rain mode is extremely tame. It's toned down quite a bit. Oh, that baby can handle. I like the way you lean. I like the way you lean. Rain mode is extremely tame, which is a great option for someone who's a newer rider. you know, your traditional Evo Sportsters didn't have those options of rider modes. You're going to get the performance you're going to get out of it. But when you got these modes like rain, road, and sport, you get the option of going through the different modes until you're comfortable with the performance that this bike can do. So in rain mode, when you twist the throttle, it's kind of a little bit of a lag, and it's not putting out all of its performance, and you can definitely tell that. That's a great option for rain or wet environments, as well as if you have not mastered throttle control. Let's see if you can switch these modes while moving. You press this button right here on the top. Voila, you can. I am in road mode. Road mode's going to give you a little bit more performance. Let's see. All right, from that throttle, it kind of feels a little bit like your traditional Sportster would feel. Like you're getting that traditional Sportster power out of this when you're in road mode. But the difference is, this is a higher revving machine. You got to ride this bike in the higher RPMs for you to get its maximal potential out of it. As you can see, it redlines around 9,000 RPMs. Now let's remember, we're getting about 94 foot-pounds of torque out of this baby and 121 horsepower. Horsepower you're going to feel kind of in those higher RPMs. The torque, you're going to feel a lot of that down low. Now, I said we were going to give our thoughts here on one upgraded item on this bike while we're out here riding it. It's not going to be the wheels. White walls isn't going to change anything on the motorcycle. It's not going to be the fender eliminator because I can't see it. So it's going to be this Harley-Davidson windshield. How's it do as far as reducing some of the wind that I typically get in my chest when I ride one of these? Because I have ridden them, we just haven't ridden them on camera. So we're going to test that out when we turn on this road. I feel like we've been in road mode long enough. Road mode is going to give you your traditional Sportster power, maybe even a little bit more. It's definitely a fun mode to ride in, but you buy the Sportster S for that S. At sport mode right there, baby. That's what you want it for. So yeah, we're definitely going to experience that. All right, I was trying to let that car go a little bit so I can get on here and feel that sport mode. All right, so we're in first gear. We're going to hit it. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's a whole lot more power. Caught me off guard for a quick second. I haven't ridden one of these in a minute. That's a lot more power than your traditional Sportster. A lot of people like to compare these to your traditional 883 and 1200s. Well, you can't do that. This is a totally different beast. This was designed for those individuals who are looking for that serious performance out of a cruiser, and that's what you're going to get out of here. This is one torquey engine. This Rev Max 1250 is extremely torquey. You're going to get a ton of power out of this bike. It is designed for sport riding. That's what it's for. This is a sporty machine. It's designed for sport riding. Can you cruise on it? Can you cruise around town? Yeah, definitely. But it's designed for sport riding. The bike comes with forward controls. I am 6 feet tall, quite a bit of weight. We'll just leave it at that point. And it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable. I'm a little bit more hunched over than I would choose to be, but that I feel like is because of the forward controls. Kind of like I'm not at a perfect right angle at my hips. I'm leaned in just a little bit more. We're not going to go into math and acute and all those type of angles. We're just saying I'm more like that right there. I'm like that instead of like that, which isn't extremely uncomfortable or anything like that. It's just I don't know how that would feel on a extremely long ride. This may work better for someone a little bit shorter, or if you take advantage of the mid control option they offer for this motorcycle. They're actually starting to come out with upgradable options for the motorcycle, such as this windshield. We actually have a TBR racing exhaust at the dealership that just came in. So if someone's looking for one of those for their Sportster S, we have that there. You can pick that up. Let's do this. Whoa, You really feel that performance when you get up there in those RPMs. Oh my God. Yeah, this bike will move. It definitely will move. And surprisingly, it doesn't have a lot of lower lumbar support. It's the seat, it kind of doesn't, let me feel back there. It doesn't have anything that's locking me in really. There's a little lip on it, but when I accelerate, I'm not moving. I feel like the seat is extremely grippy. It has some grippy material in it, and it's locking you in. Now, am I getting a ton of wind protection from this windscreen? Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. And it helps add to the style of the bike. Like, I'm not feeling a lot of wind in my chest. I am catching some hitting me in the head a little bit here, but it's not really affecting my ride at all. I want to feel the torque again. Woo! Oh yeah, she's a quick one. She's a quick one. Comment down below, how many of you have actually ridden, let me slow down so you're not hearing so much of that wind noise. How many of you have actually ridden a Sportster S? Comment down in the comments below, and what were your thoughts of it? You know, I think a lot of people try to compare this to your traditional Evo. It's not your Evo. It's a completely redesigned motorcycle that is claiming that name Sportster, which when you hear Sportster, you're thinking sporty. Well, they definitely put the sport in this baby. We just added more of a stylish, classic look to it with the white walls, the windshield, the fender eliminator. I myself am loving the ride and performance of this bike. All right, we're gonna drop her back down to rain mode here while we're pulling in. The bike definitely has an extremely sporty feel to it. I'll have to 100% say that. Let's get her out in the middle of the parking lot. Do a little maneuverability test, shall we? Let's see how she maneuvers. Bike feels extremely lightweight. Very easy to maneuver. A great option for a newer rider in rain mode. Until you get comfortable with road and maybe sport mode after a little bit. But overall, look at that. It's a great handling machine. And it looks good. The bike just looks good. It's a good looking machine. But let me park her so you guys can take one more look. Didn't know if you were getting dizzy. I was. But there it is. That is the Sportster S that we've added a little bit of Speedway Harley-Davidson finesse to. I'll say finesse because we made it look better. I think the white walls definitely makes this bike pop. I'm loving the windshield, and the fender eliminator is a requirement. If you buy one of these, you've got to do the fender eliminator. That's a must. That's probably the first thing. Then the windscreen maybe and the exhaust. But this is an amazing machine. I love the way it rides. I finally got to tell you all about that. I've ridden them before, but not on camera. It's a great riding bike. And when you're looking at this bike, don't try to compare it to your traditional Evo Sportster. Just imagine that they named this bike something totally different because it's a totally different beast. It is all sport. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like and comment on this video, share the content, stop on by if you're ever in the area, take one of these for a ride. If you're interested in one of these, contact us at the number listed below, but we will see you in the next video.
What kind of newfangled, water-cooled hippie bullshit is this?